LETSAGO. Everybody, welcome. I'm not going to do the Italian voice the whole show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 44 of Brat Said That. It is your host, BratWURST. Yes, today's theme is Mario. As you can see, I got a walkthrough rundown of Mario 64 in the background. I think that's like the best Mario game for like millennials. But I'm your host, Brat Jackson, co-producer Chad Liberty T. I hope everybody had a great weekend. It is March 10th, and if you spell that out, March M-A-R, and then the 10 looks like Mario. So, hey, it's a Mario team. So, welcome to the show. Everybody had a great weekend. I don't know where to start. You know, I always come in hot, and then I gotta slow it down. Bring it back. But I guess where we start every single week. Inside the squared circle, Raw last night. Road to WrestleMania is underway. It's been a bumpy road. It's been a curvy road. But it's now been more of a foundational road. We are just about 39 days until WrestleMania 42. Alright, 42. A lot of WrestleManias. But we're going to talk about what happened last night. I think the most thing, let's start off at the top of the show. Seth Rollins, Adam Pearce. He comes out. Adam Pearce is like, I want to speak to Seth Rollins. And then like 50, 60 masked dudes come out from the crowd and like all surround Adam Pearce. And then one of the masked dudes is Seth Rollins. And I don't know, it was kind of like Seth Rollins stopped beating up the Vision, even though the Vision took you out and beat you up for all those months and put you on the shelf. So, obviously it's going to be something to do with Rollins and a member of the Vision. I don't know. Breaker's still hurt. Bronson Reed's still hurt. I don't want to see them versus Logan Paul. I don't think Seth Rollins versus Austin Theory is a WrestleMania-worthy match. So, they'll find something out for Seth Rollins to do. But I definitely think it's going to be the Usos versus Logan Paul and Austin Theory for the World Tag Team Championships. I think that is the perfect spot for those four. This is something different from Logan Paul. Like, Logan Paul's at the point where he doesn't have to be that, like, extra attraction match. He doesn't have to be wrestler versus celebrity Logan Paul. It can be wrestler Logan Paul in a storyline with another wrestler versus wrestlers. So, I don't know what they're going to do with LA Knight. I thought maybe he will answer the Brock Lesnar's open challenge, but that looks more and more to be like Obafemi. I think Brock comes back next week. I don't want him to come out with Heyman. I want Heyman to be out, injured, out of the picture. You take a stomp and a chair shot from Rollins. You shouldn't sell that for 1 or 2 weeks. Keep it till after WrestleMania or right before WrestleMania. I don't know. Knight's been such that key player, even though he was out for a couple of weeks because of the Vision, that if Bronson Reed wasn't hurt, 100% Bronson Reed versus LA Knight. But the roster is getting there to the point where who knows if. Hold on. Somebody. Babe messaged me, asked me if I got the groceries. I did get the groceries, because I'm a good future hubby. Anyway, what are we talking about? LA Knight, yeah, WrestleMania. He needs to do something. He needs to do something because he is one of the key factors in this Vision feud. I've said this for a few weeks. If everything works out and you get Bronson Reed back in time, you get Braun Breaker back in time, that's a lot of B's. Breaker, Rollins, LA Knight, Reed, and Usos versus Usos versus Logan Paul and Austin Theory. But we don't know what's happening with those two Brons. But right now, they seemed a little bit cursed. And speaking about curses, Danhausen is once again giving out curses. He's getting over with the fans. I'm loving it. I didn't want to give him the BratWURST award, but his debut was just a little BratWursty. BratWURST-worthy. And, he's got, like, the #1 seller of merch. Even Babe today was like, I need a she gets a BratWURST shirt. She needs a Danhausen shirt. So, Expect that in the mailbox soon. I like Danhausen. He was big in the Indies. Then he broke his leg on Halloween. Went to AEW. Really didn't do anything noteworthy of AEW. Kind of sat on the sidelines for a long time. And now he's getting shown every week. I think people are looking to Danhausen to be that guy. Like, oh, this week I want to see what Danhausen's going to do. He already cursed Dominic. He already cursed almost The Miz. He already cursed El Grande or Medicano Original Gable. So, him cursing people is like the new Chris Jericho's list. You know, you just made the list. It's more like you just got cursed. So, speaking about somebody who's not cursed, Bayley is now the number one contender for AJ Lee's WWE Intercontinental Championship Women's Edition. I think AJ Lee and Bayley could put on a heck of a match. Bayley is a veteran, so is AJ Lee. But you gotta remember, AJ Lee left right at that point where Bayley and Sasha and Charlotte and Becky Lynch took over. You know, that Divas division kind of died when AJ Lee left. And now Bayley, who's taken it to more heights ever since she's, debuted. Hold on, my friend. How are you? Good to see you. I'm back at Smith's, back in the Fuel Center. But I'm happy to be back. Happy to be back. But, it's a life-changing decision I made, and I'm glad to be back. But one life-changing decision that they made last night. You like these segments? Judgment Day finally kicks out Finn Balor. Yes, Finn Balor is gone. It's going to be Finn versus Dominic at WrestleMania. But the one thing I'm mostly surprised of is JD McDonough sided with Dominic Mysterio and the Judgment Day. Now, JD and Finn, they have history. They've grown together. JD's the reason Finn's the reason JD is even in the Judgment Day. And JD attacked Finn with a lot of names here. JD attacked Finn with Dominic. I was surprised. I thought JD would kind of be like the Peacemaker, but no John Cena here with the Peacemaker. And I told Babe, I'm like, it's gonna be the Demon Balor versus Dominic at WrestleMania, and she's like, oh, what's this Demon Balor character? I was like, I'll show you. She's like, that's scary. And I'm like, well, that's the point of it. So. That's a good feud. Definitely a co-main event kind of feud. We talk about WrestleMania main events. WrestleMania Day 1, it's going to be Cody versus Randy. WrestleMania Day 2, it's going to be obviously Punk versus Roman. But I think you got to put that Dominic, late on the card. Dominic versus Demon late on the card. And speaking about CM Punk, he apologized a kind of apology to the Usos. Last week, CM Punk versus Roman, they were like, I'm going to bury you next to your dad. Well, guess what? Family tree of the Usos, Roman's dad is their uncle, and I wouldn't want anybody saying negative things about my uncle, so I would definitely try to go confront CM Punk like the Usos did. And, CM Punk was kind of like, I'm sorry that you guys are kind of, Roman's, what was it? God, I know this. I told Babe that is not a good segment to use. Young Boy. Yeah, you don't want to call a wrestler Young Boy. That's a no-no. And then the Usos got pissed and pie smacked CM Punk. So they're inserted somewhere in that storyline. It's very complicated. Family is, especially when you have a family tree with more branches coming out everywhere. It's a very complicated situation, but obviously, with Roman not being at every single show, you're going to have Punk, bounce off somebody. And there's 7,000 Samoans in WWE. Why not just have Usos? But I do want to think this. I do think this in my future. If you really want to get that heat, Roman, you want to get that heat after he said he's going to bury you next to your dad, you can go the Larry route. But I think if he speared AJ Lee, if Roman speared AJ Lee Automatic cinema. What is that? What is that? What is that meme? The older guy in the theater is like cinema or whatever it was. But WrestleMania is coming. 40 days, less than 40 days. I'm excited. I've always said it for the last 2 months. I'm excited. WrestleMania every year. But one person who I'm kind of excited about this announcement, I'm kind of not excited about, Pat McAfee. Yes, one of the main inspirations of why I have this show, because I used to watch Pat McAfee. I still do every morning, even if he's kind of different on the who he supports side. You know, I love his little show. So not little show, it's a huge show. This is a tiny show, but he hinted that WWE commentary run might be over for now as he focuses on ESPN and his show. Yeah, goodbye, Pat. I thought it was cute, you know, you get little millennials, like, oh, the 20-year-olds that know Pat McAfee. But he kind of, you know, his match with Gunther last year was awesome. He always has, like, you know, he's definitely different than, you know, you always see, like, with the Michael Cole and the Corey Graves. But, I don't know. Not the hugest Pat McAfee fan. Wasn't really a big fan of his commentary, so I will watch the Pat McAfee show all the time. It's constantly on the house. I like the whole show. Boston Connor, Ty, and everybody else. But as a commentator, yeah. But NXT Vengeance Day was just the other night. We're going to go over the results because it was a PoE that I watched and I really, really enjoyed it. Blake Monroe defeated Jada Parker in a street fight. Jada Parker had a weird choice of outfit. Her booty butt was hanging out the whole time. But, you know, I think that caused her to lose. Tony D'Angelo, who I think is going to be the next NXT champion, defeated Dion Lennox in a quick 7-minute match. I wouldn't say quick 7-minute match. That's a good match. That's a good time. I can do 7 minutes. Tatum Paxley defeated Izzy Game to become the NXT Women's North American Champion, which is cool because they shouted her out on Raw, which they kind of really don't do that much. Lola Vice defeated Kalani Jordan by technical knockout in front of her dad, Lola Vice's dad, which is nice to see. In an NXT Underground match, just, you know, lights dim, fighting outside. There was like a bunch of people around the ring, and they, you know, it was like a MMA kind of fight. And then Joe Hendry defeated Ricky Saints by pinfall to retain the NXT Championship. Great match. You put Ethan Page in there. You can have Ethan Page, Ricky Saints, Joe Hendry. The NXT Championship main event scene is muy bien. Love it. So, you know, I think that title's going to go back and forth. Ethan Page can get to the main roster tomorrow. He's ready. Ricky Saints, he's ready. Joe Hendry's been ready. He's on the WWE 2K26 game. They're all ready for their main event spots. So I kind of always ended with worst see where that leads, but obviously that's how life works. Anyway, speaking about people that are not in the company anymore, Steph DeLander and Mance Warner quit TNA. Yes, they just made their TNA kind of debuts a few months ago together. They're a cute married couple, kind of like a little redneck love kind of thing going on. But TNA is not going to medically clear Stephanie DeLander, so they're like, well, then we quit. I guess do what's best for your career, but also always do what's best for your health. And if TNA is not going to medically clear you, they're underneath the umbrella of WWE, so that means WWE is not going to medically clear you. Maybe AEW medically cleared. I don't know, but I love them as a tag team. Man, they'd be good at, you know, they'll go back to GCW. I don't think GCW has any, like, health litigations or whatever. You know, that's like a free-for-all outlaw promotion. But, you know, very, very cool. You know, Steph DeLander is always entertaining. Mance Warner is a dog, so he'll fight. But, little AEW segment of the day. You know, AEW launched a new streaming platform. AEW announced a new international, which means I'm not going to be able to get it. streaming services called MyAEW. Yes, it will include live shows, classic matches, behind-the-scenes content, and a free fast channel called Watch AEW. The service is aimed at expanding AEW's global reach while keeping current TV deals, TNT, Max, etc., intact. So, if you're not from America and you want to watch AEW, goodbye, Penny. Oh, that's so cute. Penny just left the room, looked at her brother, and said, "Are we going?" He's like, "No." Anyway, AEW, it's cute. So if you want to watch Revolution 2022, boom, on demand. If you want to watch All Out 2020, boom, on demand. You know, we need more stuff like that. This Netflix, I try to watch like a Netflix. This stupid WWE Network was the greatest thing that they ever did. Okay, $9.99 a month. You can watch anything you want at any time you want to watch. It had everything. Every single thing that you wanted to watch was at the WWE Network. WCW, boom. World Class, boom. A Monday Night Raw from 1992. Actually, that wasn't existing. That wasn't possible. But a Monday Night Raw from 1996, boom, you can watch it. I watched every single WCW pay-per-view from 1997. Now, Netflix has none of that. Peacock had none of that. And it makes me upsetty spaghetti. I don't like that. But, moving on. Speaking about things I do not like. I did not like the UFC 326 card. Holy crap. Okay? Now, first off, I've told you this many times. If you want to win money at the casino, go put money on the person I said is going to lose. Because they always win. I went 1 for 4. 1 for 4 in my picks. I suck at picking fights. So, we're going to run down the matches. We're going to run down the fights. Main card. Actually, we'll talk about the preliminary card. Because the preliminary fight between Cody Garbrandt and his opponent, I haven't got his name yet. I'll get it. I'm going to not even pronounce it that bad. Not even pronounce it that right. Cody Garbrandt. He faced off against Zai Long. Won by unanimous decision. Zai was deducted 2 points in the third round due to multiple illegal groin strikes. That means he got kicked in the dick more times than you're allowed to. Okay? And it was a weird fight. Okay. Then, the main card starts. Gregory Rodriguez absolutely whops Bruno Ferrero. Knockout punch in less than 2 minutes. Okay? Then you got Drew Dober doing the same exact thing to Michael Johnson. A KO punch clear in the chin in 1 minute 53 in the second round. Then the only fight I got right. Raul Rosa Jr. versus Rob fight. Rob lost by decision. Raul, what is it? El Nino Pramalama? He 30-27 for Raul. He's doing good. Only 21. Home main event. Chal Barrero defeated Rene the Riddler by decision 30-27. So after the 2 opening fights, this card stunk. Okay, now my lovely, beautiful, red-headed future bride points sucky at predicting if they were good or not. Now, if I tell you Charles Oliveira versus Max Holloway is going to be a bad fight, you would not believe me. But Charles Oliveira versus Max Holloway was a bad fight. Okay? Now, I got to give all the credit to Charles Oliveira. He did what he had to do. He took Max Holloway down. He kept going for submissions. Holloway was defending him. But the whole fight sucked. Now, you would say, hey, Jiggles, hey, Brat, it happens. Sometimes main event fights suck. And yes, I agree. Yes, babe, it was so boring. But this was supposed to be the BMF Championship bout. BMF, we talked about it last show. It's a fictional made-up belt just to get it, to say there was a title shot, okay? Title fight. But it sucked, okay? Charles Oliveira killed the BMF Championship. I never want to see that stupid title being defended anymore. Okay? Charles Oliveira, love you, legend. Had to do what you had to do. Max Holloway, congrats on the black belt. If you can withstand 25 minutes of the greatest grappler in UFC history on your back, you deserve a black belt. And that's not me joking. Congrats. That's awesome. But for the BMF Championship, for your legacy, for being absolutely boring and not BMF and just being a prop, you have won the BratWURST Award of the Week. Boom. I'm giving the award, BratWURST Award, to a belt. Because it's my show, I can do that. But speaking about this, the only time they showed a great fight that night was when they announced that Joanna Jedrzejckyz versus Zhang Weili from their UFC 249 fight is going into the Hall of Fame. Yes, UFC does the Hall of Fame, and they put fights on there. That fight, greatest women's fight of all time. One of the greatest fights of all time, going into the Hall of Fame. So, congrats to Joanna Champion. Congrats to Zhang Weili. You know, love it. I love it. But there is one thing I do not love. And I've said it over and over and over again. That stupid fucking White House card, okay? They're trying to do this White House card. And Dana White said, hey, we're going to show you the card. And we all were like, okay, here it comes. Conor McGregor returns. Michael Chandler versus Gregor. Can't wait. John Jones. Aspinall. Finally. We're going to have Kobe on the card. We're going to have Sean Strickland on the card. Great. This is going to be such a huge card. And then they've posted the card and it is absolute shite for what they hyped up. Okay? Starting off, it's only 6 fights. 6 fights at the White House card, okay? No John Jones, no Conor McGregor, no Sean Strickland, no craziness that they promised us, okay? For the fight, the card itself, listen, if this was any UFC pay-per-view, I would say good card. But they hyped it in the rain for so long that it was going to be the most amazing card you've ever seen. Diego Lopez versus Steve Garcia. Diego Lopez, Brazilian. Okay? You have Bo Nickel versus Kyle Dukakis. Dawkins. Boring. I don't like Bo Nickel, but I can't, no disrespect to Kyle Dawkins, Mauricio Ruffy, Brazilian, versus Michael Chandler. Now, you have Michael Chandler on the card. Why couldn't you get Conor McGregor? They've been going at it for 4 years. Ever since Conor broke his leg, all they've been talking about is Conor versus Chandler. They had the Ultimate Fighter show based around those two. But now, it's not going to happen. You have Michael Chandler on the card versus Mauricio Ruffy. Then you have Sean O'Malley, former champion. I know everybody likes Sean O'Malley. Versus Ahmed Zahabi, Canadian. Everybody's talking about Sean O'Malley, Corey Sandhagen, 2 futures of the bantamweight division. But no. Corey Sandhagen said on his podcast, Sean O'Malley kept saying no. I don't know. I don't know what's true. But not the best card so far. Then you have a interim UFC heavyweight championship fight. Alex Pereira, Brazilian, versus Cyril Gane, Frenchman. And if you remember, okay, I know Chad Lebici, you're a big Gane fan. We get it. You're French. Okay, go Gane. You're going to be rooting for him. I understand. But if you remember, Cyril Gane was the reason why Tom Aspinall can't see right now. And Alex Pereira, hell of a fighter. I love Alex Pereira. Middleweight champion, light heavyweight champion, now looking to get an interim UFC heavyweight championship. And then the main event, Ilia Topuria, Spaniard, or Georgian, against Justin Gaethje, champion versus champion, interim lightweight championship, interim lightweight, UFC champ, whatever. But this card was talked about being one of the biggest. It's supposed to take place on the White House lawn. You know, like the weigh-ins are expected to take place at Lincoln Memorial. I think we kind of got our priorities a little shaken up here. Okay? June 14th, 2 days before my birthday. But, you know, we Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes. That wasn't going to happen. You know, Dana White on his little press conferences after every fight, you know, he always says, "Oh, shout out Crowder made $1.17 billion on this fight card, but we can't pay our fighters anything." He said, one of the people in the crowd or media members said, "Oh, Dana, I saw that we saw that a fight fell out. What fight was it?" He's like, "None of your business." It's like, why can't you just tell us? What big secret can you be like, "Oh yeah, well we had John Jones in negotiations, but things didn't work out." And then John Jones was like, "Hey man, that's not true. You know what? I'm done. I quit. Well, whatever. I don't like John Jones, so kabooey." This clearly was not their first. This clearly was not their second. Hell, this wasn't even their third choice of a card. This card. Now, am I going to watch it? Of course I'm going to watch it. But here's what's going to happen. It's not going to happen. Okay? They put out such a lackluster card that it's going to be easy to say, "Oh, for security reasons, we're not going to be able to watch this card or have this card." Okay? I've said it since the White House has been announced. It's not happening. Okay? It's not happening. But whatever. We do have a really good fight coming up this weekend. We'll talk more about next show. Just to kind of talk a little bit more about it is going to be, if I can find where if you look at Wikipedia and you look at like the list of UFC events, there's been thousands of them. I can't just pick one out and be like, "Oh, here it is, this little screen right here." It takes me 25 minutes to find it. Josh Emmett versus Kevin Vahalos. Okay, Josh Emmett, hell of a fighter. Josh Emmett, one of the best KO powers. You know, 2-fight losing streak. You know, I think he's gonna bounce back. But then I looked at his opponent, Kevin Vahalos, Argentinian fighter, 17-1. 1, 2, 3, 4 fights coming right off of the Dana White Contender Series. So this only lost to Gene Silva. So I don't know. I'm not picking fighters yet. We're gonna talk more about it, but that is gonna be a hell of a fight card. It's at the Apex. Don't know why we're back at the Apex. I remember playing in this game, Mario 64, and one of my buddy Donnie's basements. Great, hell of a basement, Donnie. Another fight card coming up. We're talking about the Rousey versus Corona fight card. They just had a press conference. Don't really know what they talked about. I'll watch it. We'll talk about it next show. But Francis Ngannou, Dana White's favorite fighter, is joining the fight card and is going to take on Philipe Lins. Francis is looking to bounce back in his MMA career. One of the best heavyweight fighters. Knockout power. His knockout of Overeem, legendary. His knockout of Arlovsky, Cain Velasquez, Junior Dos Santos, Stipe Miocic, just knocking people out left and right. He's looking to come back. He had some time in boxing. Only lost to Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, but those two were the legendary boxing heavyweights. Philip, we'll talk more about this fight card. This happens, I think, May 16th. Am I correct to say that? Let's see. Yeah, May 16th. Inglewood, California, for the Most Valuable Promotion, Netflix. So that's going to be a heck of a card, man. I'm telling you, if they do things right, the UFC is not the only show in the world. we are going to move on. You know, it was a big week for the NFL. A lot of different trades and movements. We talked about Max Crosby heading off to Baltimore. Good luck in Baltimore, Max. Have fun sacking Joe Burrow twice a year. Okay? Geno Smith, I thought we got rid of him, and we did, but I guess we traded him. Traded him back towards the Jets for his 6th round pick, and we get a 7th round pick. Yeah, good luck in New York. I'm sure they're going to welcome you with open arms in New York. Raiders did sign Tyler Inderbaum, a mega deal. Center, Tyler Inderbaum. 3 years, $81 million. So, anything to help our offense, defense, front office, anything, landscaping, I am all for it. So, good for us. We're going to get Fernando in April, Tyler Inderbaum. We got rid of Geno Smith. I heard we even got rid of Daniel Carlson, which I was sad because Carlson was like a really solid kicker. But we're getting Matt Gay, which is okay. That's what they say. Baby. Kenneth Walker III is released from the Seahawks. He signed with the Chiefs. Why do I talk about Kenneth Walker III? Because the guy just won the Super Bowl MVP. So it's kind of surprised, I don't know how things work. I'm not that smart, especially when it comes to, sports business. But, I feel like if you won us the Super Bowl and you're the MVP, I would probably keep you around for, another year. Hey, you're good with us. You're good with us, but, it's probably a contract thing. What? Huge pickup for the Chiefs. Also for the Chiefs, I read somewhere that due to Taylor Swift's influence, Travis Kelce is coming back to the Chiefs for a 14th year. So, congrats to Tay-Tay and Travis Swift for being another year as the Chiefs. He's still young. He's still looking good. They had a really bad year. They don't want to go out that year. Jason Kelce, he retired after the Super Bowl. Travis Kelce, he'll follow in his big brother's step. He's not going to retire after, missing the playoffs and Patrick Mahomes getting hurt, But that dude is set for life. So, good for them. Dolphins, huge news. Release Tua Tagovailoa. Sounds like one of those Girl Scout cookies. Obviously, Tua, we all know his history with the Dolphins. He's released. Miami said, get out of here. And Atlanta Falcons said, hey, get over here. They signed Tua. Good sign for Tua. I like Tua. This move creates a massive $99.2 million dead cap hit for Miami. Now, what does that mean? I don't know. But Miami is making $1 million moves. So, without Tua, who is a quarterback going to be? Let's see. Tua, Miami Dolphin quarterback. No. Let's see. Malik Willis is a new starting quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. So, we'll see. That division, Bills, tough. Patriots, tough. You got the Bills and the Patriots. So, maybe Geno Smith can turn the Jets around. Okay. Mike Evans signs. Well, I wrote this wrong. He did not sign with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He was on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the longest time. He is now signed with the San Francisco 49ers. A huge get for Brock Purdy and the Niners. They got to do something. They're at that finish line almost every single year, and they have constantly not made it to the playoffs. I mean, the Super Bowl. I won the Super Bowl. You know what I'm trying to say. Good for Mike Evans moving on. A lot of moves. Free agency, trades. We're going to talk about all that coming up. The key players. Let's see. ESPN has reportedly put a stop to letter grades in its reviews of WWE PLEs after pushback from WWE. Sorry, I just went on Twitter and saw that. So that clearly means that, hey, stop letting everybody know our show sucks. So, that is it. All right, we got a face-off between Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano. Both look good. both looking good. Geno, and Rousey, Ngannou and Lin. It's going to be a good fight card. Okay, I see Stephanie Vasquez and Miles Bourne giving a little celebration after Miles Bourne won the NXT North American Championship. Anyway, MLB, it's time to look at the World Baseball Classic, and what a game it has been. So much baseball. After not having baseball since the World Series, we've had so much baseball. Now, the scores, let's see, last show was Saturday. Let's see. Wow. I wish I had. Now, I don't know these maps and stuff. Hold on, let's see. USA defeated Great Britain 9-1. We all knew that was going to happen. Chinese Taipei defeated Korea 5-4. Panama defeated Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico defeated Panama 4-3. Venezuela with a huge win over Israel 11-3. And then I think while we're doing the show, Italy just dominant win over Brazil. Yesterday, Sunday, Japan with a huge win over Australia. Japan's now 3-0. Cuba with a huge win over Colombia. Cuba's 2-0. This is yesterday, so I don't know what happened today. Italy with a huge win over This whole huge wins. Obviously, a win is a win. 2-0. Great Britain 7-4. Dominican Republic 2-0. Netherlands 12-1. Wow, defeated Netherlands 12-1. Israel got a win over Nicaragua 5-0. Canada lost to Panama 4-3. And Mexico with a mopping on Brazil 16-0. Now today, Korea defeated Australia 7-2. Dominican Republic defeated Israel 10-1. Panama lost to Colombia 4-3. Great Britain defeated Brazil 8-1. Oh wow. This is yesterday, right? Yeah. USA survives a threat from Mexico 5-3. Nicaragua lost to Venezuela 4-0. Puerto Rico lost to Colombia 3-0. Now here's the thing I'm talking about. We always talk about how Puerto Rico is a territory of the United States. It's America, and it's part of America. Bad money. It's American. Why does Puerto Rico have their own baseball team if it's American? Why do they play on Team USA? That's what I'm saying. But today, let's see what happened today. No games happened just yet. But standing-wise, let's see. Team USA plays Italy at 9 p.m., 6 o'clock. So we'll definitely check that out. The standings, let's see. Pool A. Puerto Rico 3-0. Cuba 2-1. Canada 1-1. Colombia 1-1. Panama 1-3. Did I say Colombia 1-3? Houston, Pool B. America, USA 3-0. 3-0. Italy 2-0. Mexico 2-1. Great Britain 1-3. Brazil 0-4. Japan 4-0. Korea 2-2. Australia 2-2. Chinese Taipei 2-2. And Chechnya 0-4. Venezuela 3-0. Dominican Republic 3-0. Israel 1-2. Netherlands 1-2. Nicaragua 0-4. Now, Puerto Rico's advanced to the quarterfinals. Japan and Korea advanced to the quarterfinals. Venezuela and Dominican Republic advanced to the quarterfinals. So, America, we're looking to advance. We're looking to move on. Let's see the bracket. Oh, there's a bracket. I like brackets. This bracket is really hard to tell. I can't tell. Let's see. This bracket is hard to tell. Korea's facing a Pool D winner. TBD, Japan. So, still a lot to kind of figure it out. But Japan is a dominant powerhouse. United States doing great. Puerto Rico, United States. Again, United States doing great. Dominican Republic, Venezuela. Now, 0-4 Nicaragua. Chechnya 0-4. Brazil 0-4. Brazil will get us back into the FIFA when FIFA comes here. Don't worry. But But yeah, World Baseball Classic is heating up on the way. Opening day is, let's see, when is opening day? Not opening day, MLB. Let's see, it is Thursday, March 26th, so we are 16 days away from the opening night. New York Yankees at San Francisco Giants. Cannot wait. Man. You know, we'll give our predictions. We'll talk about everything. Let's see. Giants, Yankees, opening night. I definitely want to check out a baseball game. Last professional baseball game I went to. Couldn't tell you. Honestly, couldn't tell. I went to a lot of Long Island Duck games. I went to a lot of Las Vegas 51, Las Vegas Aviator games. So, but MLB is heating up. It's going to be just around the corner. My draft is coming up. I should know when my draft is because I don't want to miss it again this year because I missed it last year. Because I think I was working or something, but let's see. I'm going to log into CBS Sports. Not a paid promotion. Just it's the one I used. I miss doing drafts. Like I would go to somebody's house and they would have the board and the stickers. But there's the thing with me. If I'm doing a draft, I'm doing a fucking draft. Okay? I'm there. Laptop, pen, paper. If it's your turn, fucking draft. Don't be outside smoking cigarettes. Don't be on the phone fighting with your girlfriend. Draft your shit and let's go. I remember it was like 2010 or 2011. I drafted Tim Lincecum first, and everybody was making fun of me, and he won the Cy Young that year. So, big time, Timmy Jim. Anyway, speaking about big time, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is making big time history. The Oklahoma City Thunder superstar tied Wilt Chamberlain's record for 126 straight games, scoring 20 points. He dropped 35 points and 15 assists in a win over the Denver Nuggets. The defending champion Thunder now holds one of the best records in the league, and SGA is once again a clear favorite to win the MVP. Jeez. Another race that is a lot closer than we thought it would be. I'll admit it. Thought it was going to be a lot closer. Excuse me. Khan Knuppel, great name, is currently leading the rookie ladder while helping the Charlotte Hornets surge in the standings. Now, I think there's a Western and an Eastern rookie of the year. But it's going to come down to Khan Knuppel and Cooper Flagg. Let's see. Oh, we got to do our bracket, too. Don't forget, NCAA bracket. When it's posted, we're going to talk about March Madness. 13 days is my draft. That is 13 days away. What is that? Carry the 2 divided by 3. The 23rd. So, yeah, today's the 10th. Yeah. So, yeah. So, Cooper Flagg, Kyle Knuppel. Who's going to win the MVP? We will see. Because it is a close race. Speaking about close races, NHL playoff race is underway. I don't think any team has clinched. But we need to make this announcement because we talked about it last week. The Buffalo Sabres are the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. After we go back, we're going to, when the Sabres make the playoffs, I'm going to post a video of me trashing the Sabres. And you're going to see the turnaround that franchise made. 7 straight wins, 84 points, top of the Atlantic Division. Okay? Hurricanes, Carolina, doing great on top of the Metropolitan Division by a lot of points. Penguins, second place, 78 points. Western Conference, Avalanche, doing great. Dallas Stars, Minnesota Wild, right behind us. Anaheim Ducks, winning. Golden Knights, 72. I don't know if any team clinched. Did any team clinch NHL playoffs? Let's see. It doesn't say anything, but it is going to be officially as long as everything works out, the Buffalo Sabres are going to snap their postseason drought of 14 seasons because of me. And you know what? I'm going to go to NHL shop right now. And I'm going to look at a nice Buffalo Sabres jersey. I'm being honest with you. I'm going to buy a Buffalo, not a jersey because jerseys are too expensive and I don't wear like jerseys and stuff. But let's see, like shirts. Buffalo Sabres t-shirt, okay? This is a nice Buffalo Sabres, $27. It's in my size. I'm going to get this jersey. And when they make the playoffs, I will wear this shirt. So, hell, if it comes down to the Buffalo Sabres and the Golden Knights in the Stanley Cup, I will certainly watch it on TV because I do not have enough money to go to a Stanley Cup game. But the playoff race is heating up. Good job for the Buffalo Sabres. We're going to look at the standings for we talk about March Madness, but we got to look at the standings, like what teams in basketball are doing really well. So I guess they have the rankings. Okay, so Duke, always number 1. Arizona, 2. Michigan, 3. All 29-2. Duke, 8 wins. Arizona, 6 wins. Michigan, 4 wins. Florida, 25-6. 11 win streak. Houston, UConn, Iowa State, Michigan State, Illinois, Virginia, Nebraska, Gonzaga, St. John's, Kansas, Alabama, Texas Tech, Arkansas, Purdue, UNC. Miami, 31-0, 20th spot. Good for them. St. Mary's, Vanderbilt, Wisconsin, Louisville, and Tennessee. So, good for everything. Can't wait till the NCAA bracket comes out. Let's see. Week 18. It's coming up. I think Selection Sunday is in a few days. So we will talk about that. We'll have our predictions. And we're going to just have a really deep dive into March Madness. We'll fill out the brackets together. But since today is March 10th, and if you look at that, is a National Mario Day. So, we're going to talk a little bit about the Italian plumber from New York. Mario is a character created by the Japanese video game designer Shigeru Miyamoto. He is the star of the Mario franchise, a recurring character in Donkey Kong, and the mascot of their owner, the Japanese company Nintendo. So, what's your favorite Mario game? He's been, he is like he's the Hulk Hogan of the Mario franchise. He's got his brother Luigi, the younger twin brother Mario, Princess Peach, Princess Daisy, Bowser, the King Hooba, the bad guy, Toad, his little friend that's always, Yoshi. He's got his Bubba. He's got Yoshi. Donkey Kong. We all love Donkey Kong. Wario and Waluigi. Let me tell you something. Waluigi, you and I, we had a lot of beef when it came to Super, the Mario Party. Always lost to Waluigi. Don't know why. He was so freaking powerful. But this is about Mario. This isn't about anybody else, made his first debut in 1981 as Jumpman, Mr. Video, or Awesome. Appearance, he's got the overalls. Voice acting, he's Charles Martinet, voiced Mario for over 30 years, which is crazy, It's me, Mario, He's right there. He's collecting the coins. He's trying to save the princess. In video games, list of video games featuring Mario. Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong Jr., Donkey Kong 2, Mario Bros., Mario's Cement Factory, Mario Bros., Mario's Bomb Away, Tennis, Pinball, Mario Bros. Special, Punchball Mario Bros., Golf, Super Mario Bros., which was, I think, everybody's first video game. Super Mario Bros. Special, Super Mario Bros. 2, He was even in freaking Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. He was the referee. Super Mario Bros. 3, which I think is my favorite. You know, little raccoon guy. Dr. Mario. That was a kind of different kind of game. Yoshi had his own game. I do like that game. Yoshi's Cookie. Mario Times Machine. Let's see what else we got here. Donkey Kong 64. Mario Golf. Mario Party. Everybody loves Mario Party. Super Mario Sunrise. Other games. Dance Dance Revolution. Mario Mix. The new Super Mario Brothers. Super Mario Galaxy. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. One of my favorite, Mario Super Sluggers. Another game that I like to play a lot was Mario Strikers Charge. I play that game on the Wii religiously. By the way, the Wii was fantastic. What happened? We were a proper country. You know? Like, and I used to play the Wii with, like, grown-ass adults. And kids. Here we go. Even Luigi's Mansion. You know? He gave Luigi a few games. Super Mario Maker, that was on the Wii U. A lot of people like that game. Super Mario Run. Luigi's Mansion again. Hello Mario. Even the movies. He's been in movies. Now, we all remember the original Super Mario movie, right? First off, we got to go back to Super Mario Bros. 1993. Bob Hoskins as Mario, John Leguizamo as Luigi. Who else was in there? What wrestler was in there? I'm sorry, I should know what wrestler was in there. Who was in there? Wasn't somebody wrestler in there? Right? Oh wait, I don't know. I don't remember. Super Mario Brothers movie came out this year, 2023. This year we have the Super Mario Galaxy movie. You know, he's been in animes. It would be cool to like create like a Mario. He's even got a theme park. Super Nintendo World is a themed area within Universal Studios Japan, Hollywood, and Epic Universe. So, he is in good hands. He's been in cameos, educational games, puzzle games, sports games. He's played every single sport you can think of. Tennis, golf, baseball, strikers at the Olympic Games, basketball, pinball. So, Super Mario is a okay guy to me. Just want to give a little shout out to the little guy. Wahoo! Yeah, you can hear him in the background. But guys, we're gonna, we got to the castle. I gotta save the princess. I gotta clean the castle before the princess gets home. But, it was a good show. Thanks for everybody that came around. Hey guys, I posted I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have a show, post, like, the next day post on YouTube, kind of get a theme going. But, anyway, to recap the show. Raw, underway. WrestleMania, 39 days away. Turn it down just a little bit, okay? NXT Vengeance Day. Good show. AEW, my AEW platform is being released internationally. BratWURST Award goes to the BMF Championship. Goodbye. Retire that thing. UFC White House card. Yuck. We'll talk more about the fight night coming up between Emmett and Vahilo. NFL moves, making moves. Raiders, Tyler Inderbaum. Geno Smith back to the Jets. Kenneth Walker III to the Chiefs. Travis Kelce is back. Thank you, Tay. World Baseball Classic is heating up right in the middle of it. NBA Shea looking for his second MVP year. Rookie of the race, a lot closer. Don't throw in the flag just yet. Con Canupo is running up behind you, Flaggy. NHL playoff race. Go Buffalo Sabres. NCAA standings. March Madness is coming up soon. And hey, we got to give a shout out because it is Mario 10. So, good luck. Shout out to Mario. Now, follow me on Twitter. 1,100 followers. Boom, good. Instagram, Brat Jackson. And the YouTube, Brat Jackson. Brat said tube. Follow me. Subscribe. and Spotify, Brat Jackson, BodySlam.net for all your wrestling news. And guys, that's it. I'm getting off. Had a great show. Back on Saturday for Pi Day. Yes, 3.14. So, love yourself. Love each other. Save the princess. It's me. I'm Brat you. Alright, guys. And hey, love sports too. And, alright, guys. Good night.